Once upon a time, in the middle of the city, lived Rachel. She was only 26 when she packed everything she owned into a gonna-must-go bag and left Accra for good. She didn't look back, not at the old salon where her boss always treated her badly, not at the boyfriend who broke her heart after 4 years, and not even at the fake friends who only came around when they wanted free wigs. Accra isn't for me, and I'll never return, she told herself. With fresh energy and a strong will, Rachel moved to a small village called Alakpla Island. Life there was simple, quiet, and affordable. Everything seemed perfect, but no one told her the community kept a dark secret buried under the river, and that peace came with a cost. 2 weeks after arriving, Rachel began applying for jobs to save money to open her own salon. She worked as a salesgirl in a small shop, sold barefoot by the roadside, and even did cheap hookups at night. After about a month, Rachel finally saved enough to start her salon. But the shops were too costly, and her 5,000 cedis budget wasn't even half the price. Then one lucky day, her friend Florence told her about an old abandoned building near the river. "No one has entered it for 10 years, Florence said. Rachel screamed with joy. "Finally, God has answered my prayers." The next day, Rachel went straight to the building, and the moment she stepped inside, her heart filled with joy. The place was old, rusty, and covered in thick cobwebs, but she didn't care. Right away, she began cleaning, and after 5 hours, she was finished. The next morning, she went to the market to buy all the tools and items she needed. In just 2 weeks, her salon was complete and ready for business. She named it Riverview Salon. The people in the village watched in fear as Rachel opened a salon in a building that had been empty for years. She noticed their stares but ignored them. She was completely sure that customers would come in large numbers since her shop was near the peaceful river. But months went by, and not a single person entered her salon. Not even a fly. Each day she sat outside her shop, waving at people passing by, hoping someone would stop and enter, but no one ever did. "What's wrong? Am I cursed? Why won't anyone come to my salon?" she asked her friend Florence. "I think it's because of your salon's location, my dear," Florence replied. "Location? What's wrong with opening a salon by the river? The view is lovely, and the river brings peace," Rachel said. "That's why I didn't hesitate to tell you about this place. But I think I made a mistake, Rachel. I'd advise you to leave here," Florence said. But Rachel refused to listen. She trusted the river so much that she ignored the people's stares and refused everyone's advice. She barely had money for food, and some days she ate dry biscuit cube just to feel full. On her worst days, she soaked a handful of gari in cold river water and pretended it was ice cream. The villagers said no business could survive near the river, that it was cursed. But Rachel didn't believe in curses. She believed in second chances and in herself. At least she did, until one rainy night when she heard someone knocking on her door, even though no one had passed by all evening. Who knocks on a salon door in a forgotten village at midnight? The rain had just stopped, and the knock was soft, like fingertips tapping on wood. Her heart raced. It was almost midnight, and no one ever came to her salon at such an hour. Not even the drunk fisherman. She was still wondering who it could be when she heard another knock. At first, she wanted to ignore it, but the knocking continued. She crossed her chest 3 times and whispered a silent prayer. Then she tiptoed to the door and opened it carefully. To her surprise, a woman stood there. She was barefoot, dripping wet, with water running from her hair. She looked human, yet there was something strange and unnatural about her. The woman stepped inside without asking and calmly sat on a plastic salon chair. Rachel stared at her, frightened, and said, "Good evening. Please, what do you want?" The woman smiled faintly. "My name is Mamie Linda. I have come to make you rich. I have seen your worries and your silent prayers weigh on me," she said. "I don't understand. Where are you from, and how will you make me rich? Do you want me to buy your braided wigs?" Rachel asked shakily. "When the time comes, you will know who I am. For now, just sell my wigs," the woman replied. And just like that, the woman walked away. Rachel ran after her, but she was already stepping into the river in front of the salon. The water seemed to welcome her like an old friend, and within seconds, she vanished beneath the surface, leaving only her long hair visible. The next morning, Rachel woke to find a black nylon bag outside the salon. She stared at it for a moment, then brought it inside. With trembling hands, she opened it and found all kinds of wigs inside. Bouncy ones, single donor, double donor, even sleek bone straight hair. Could these be the wigs the woman had mentioned? But what would she tell Florence? How could she explain where she got the money to buy these wigs? God, what had she gotten herself into? While she was still thinking, someone knocked on the door. But it wasn't Mommy Linda this time. A young woman stood there holding her phone. "Hello, are you the one doing hair here? I saw your salon on Instagram." Rachel blinked. Instagram. She wasn't even on it, much less her salon. Before she could respond, 2 more women arrived. Then 3, then 5, and the crowd kept growing. By 9 a.m., a line had formed outside her tiny salon, and all the women were strangers. Some had even traveled from the next town. Some said they had left work early because something inside told them to come. The strangest part was that most of the women couldn't explain how they had heard about Rachel. She felt both confused and nervous. Yet the emptiness in her stomach and the weight of her situation left her no choice but to serve them. She immediately began braiding their hair, and before nightfall she was done. 5 of the 15 women bought wigs. Each sold for 400 cedis. Just like that, Rachel earned over 3,000 cedis in a single day. The women left, and she sat on the floor, mouth open in shock. Should she cry or rejoice? Was this a dream or a trap? What had she gotten herself into? She thought about running away with the money, but Mommy Linda appeared in her dream, warning her never to leave the salon. Instead, she was to renovate it however she liked. Every morning, she would wake up to find a black nylon bag filled with wigs outside her salon. Sighing heavily, she carried it inside. Soon, Riverview Salon became famous in the village and beyond. People whispered that the salon was not ordinary, but a place where happiness returned. Women who came tired and sad left smiling and feeling completely satisfied. One shy girl who barely spoke left dancing and filming herself, full of confidence. Another woman looked in the mirror and exclaimed, "I feel so powerful." Her poor salon had suddenly become the most popular spot in the village, maybe even the whole region. Rachel still didn't understand what was happening, but she enjoyed it. She renovated the building, bought modern equipment, and hired more staff. The women who once ignored her now came regularly. She opened an Instagram account for the salon, and people began buying her wigs. When her friend Florence asked about her sudden success, Rachel lied, saying her uncle in Canada had sent her money to start the business. But soon, strange stories began circulating about some of the women who bought her wigs. It began with a woman named Anita, a jobless single mother who had been applying for grants for over a year without luck. She wore one of the wigs she bought from Rachel to a wedding, and the next day, a foreign company sent her a $5,000 grant for the food business she had abandoned the previous year. Another woman, a woman who had struggled to conceive for 5 years, became pregnant just 2 days after buying Rachel's wig. Then there was Bologna, a quiet university student who always sat at the back of the classroom. She wore a sleek black wig from Rachel and posted a short TikTok video of herself. To her shock, the next morning the video had 1 million views, and a brand deal awaited her. Her followers even began calling her the mermaid body. None of the women could explain how their lives had changed so quickly. All they knew was that their lives began changing the moment they wore Rachel's wigs. Rachel couldn't believe what was happening. Things were moving faster than she had imagined. Every day, she received countless messages from clients praising the miracles the wigs brought. She told herself it was just luck, or perhaps God had finally remembered her. Yet some nights she lay awake, wondering why the wigs had this power and who Mommy Linda really was. Throughout all this, Doviakos was observing. Every morning, she set up a barefoot table just a few steps from Rachel's shop. In her 60s, with a round face, strong arms, and a Bible that never left her side, she had long been respected. Her late husband had always called her the village prophetess. Even though she laughed when people said her eyes were sharp and always watching, she noticed changes before anyone else did. First, it was the women arriving like ants to sugar. Then, the wigs looked unusually perfect, almost otherworldly. Soon she saw strange signs. Her 2 goats, Billy and Nellie, suddenly refused to go near Rachel's salon. They would pull away, bolt, and even kick whenever she tried to lead them past the shop. One night, Doviakos had a dream. She saw Rachel braiding hair, but the chairs were filled with shadows instead of customers. Their eyes were wide, and their hair grew like snakes, while the salon mirrors reflected water instead of faces. The next morning, she quietly approached Rachel. "My child," she said, "I don't know what spirit gave you this gift, but listen carefully. When God gives, it is slow, but when the river gives, it first takes your God, then drags your feet," Doviakos said. Rachel smiled politely and replied, "Dovi, business is finally picking up." But inside, her stomach twisted. She couldn't explain why her hands shook every time she touched a new wig from Mommy Linda. One fateful night, around 9 p.m., heavy rain pounded Rachel's roof like fists. Thunder rolled across the village, and lightning flashed white across the sky. Rachel sat alone inside, holding a steaming cup of tea, trying to calm her nerves. She had been having strange dreams again. Water in her mirrors, voices whispering in her ears, and hairs moving on their own. She tried to ignore the feeling, but deep down something was wrong. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Rachel's heart jumped. "No one should be out in this weather," she whispered. With trembling hands, she opened the door. And to her surprise, Mommy Linda stood there, still dripping wet. "Do you like what you've become?" Mommy Linda asked softly. Rachel stared for a moment, then smiled. "Yes, I do." Mommy Linda stepped inside and placed a golden box on the table. "These are special wigs. They are for people who want sudden changes in their lives," she said. Rachel knelt beside the box and opened it slowly. The wigs inside glowed faintly, like candlelight trapped in the strands of hair. One had purple flames flickering around the edges, and another looked as if it were made of mist. Rachel's hand shook. "I don't know if I should keep doing this," she whispered. Mommy Linda tilted her head angrily. "Then reject the gift. But if you do, the river will take more than this." Without another word, she vanished. Rachel sat trembling with fear. She realized she had made a deal with a demon, but going back to her old life was impossible. She now had fame and money, and that was enough. The next day, she posted the wigs on her Instagram at very high prices. In her captions, she wrote that they were for people seeking breakthroughs. Within minutes, orders began pouring in. 3 days later, Nancy Blue, a famous Instagram model and one of Rachel's recent customers who bought a glowing wig, was found dead in her apartment with the wig still on her head. The report said there were no bruises, no wounds, and no signs of forced entry. The scariest part was that her lungs were filled with water. The doctor said it appeared as if she had drowned, but there was no bathtub or anything to explain it. Meanwhile, Rachel's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Some callers were crying, while others demanded the same wig Nancy had worn. Rachel sat in her salon, hands shaking, breath shallow, and fingers numb. That night, as the rain poured heavily, she grabbed the golden box, ran outside into the darkness, and threw it into the river with all her strength. "Please take your property and leave me alone," she screamed in fear. But the next morning, she opened her salon to find the box sitting neatly on her table. By then, she realized there was no turning back. On the outside, Rachel had everything she had prayed for: wealth, fame, and purpose. Her salon was fully booked for months, and people traveled from other regions just to sit in her chair. Brands were sending her offers. Newspapers wanted interviews. Influencers called her a hair healer. But inside, she was falling apart. Her hands tingled every time she touched the wigs, and her dreams were the scariest part of her life. Each night, she saw faceless women brushing their long, wet hair with combs made of bones. They sang in a language she didn't understand, but the words echoed when she woke. Some nights, she dreamed the river swallowed her salon and dragged everything down. Through it all, she didn't know how to feel. Sometimes satisfied, other times blaming herself for opening the door that night. One quiet morning, Mommy Linda returned, holding a silver box with a single wig inside. On top of the wig lay a folded note that read, "This wig is for you alone. Only you may wear it." Rachel stared at the wig for a long moment. Slowly, she placed it on her head. The instant it touched her scalp, her body froze. Her eyes rolled back, and her mind opened like a stormy wind. Suddenly, she saw a vision. In it, Mommy Linda was screaming as the villagers dragged her into the river. Then she saw her salon. It wasn't a salon anymore. It was underwater, filled with ghostly women having their hair done in slow motion. Their eyes were empty, and their mouths moved as if singing. Rachel tried to remove the wig, but it wouldn't budge. She looked into the mirror, and what she saw made her heart stop. Her eyes were no longer human. They were round, cold, and deep like fish eyes. Rachel's body shivered with fear. Then slowly she smiled. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to your loved ones.